friends, welcome back to comprehension and vocabulary. We are extremely sorry for the delay of around 3 to 4 minutes. We are on time because of some technical problems, sometimes it happens, and this is a 50th session and some students asked for increasing the difficulty level, and I promised that we will increase once we cross 50th session, and from next week you will see the changes. And today's discussion is on punish drunk drivers, not legal business. This is Economic Times editorial of 3rd April, and we are going to deliberate tomorrow. Business line editorial, too cautious with regard to the monetary policy. This is we are going to deliberate on tomorrow, and today's discussion, punish drunk drivers and not legal business owners. All of you are familiar with the news report. Supreme Court recently gave the order. It banned liquor shops up to 500 meters on national and state highways. Not only retail outlets, but hotels and bars are also covered, and only exception is areas with a population of 20,000 or less. In the areas of population 20,000 or less, the liquor free zone is restricted to 220 meters. If you look at the view of the proponents, or you can say the persons whoever are supporting this ban, their version is I have given here. Liquor on highways is resulting in several deaths on roads, hence it is the right move. Then the governments are not able to control the proliferation of liquor on highways, hence the Supreme Court intervened under Article 142 to do complete justice. So, this is proponent's view, and the opponent's view is it is within the domain of executive, why the Supreme Court is interfering in the executive matters. So, these are the aspects which we discussed in editorial discussions, and now let us look at the passage. And here Supreme Court errs in banning outlets that sell liquor within half a kilometer of a national or a state highway, except in towns with fewer than 20,000 residents. In fact, this article or editorial of Economic Times, not many difficult words are there. There are around 10 words or so. They are also not that difficult, but understand the passage. Supreme Court errs in banning outlets. ERR, what is the meaning? That is to make a mistake or to do something wrong. When somebody has committed a mistake or somebody has done something wrong, we can use this. The judge erred in ruling that the evidence was inadmissible. ERR, that means to make a mistake or to do something wrong, and Supreme Court has done a mistake. The meaning of this sentence is Supreme Court has done a mistake in banning outlets that sell liquor within half a kilometer of a national or state highway, except in towns with fewer than 20,000 residents. This violates the constitutional right of a lot of people to earn their livelihood without addressing the threat of drunken driving. So, this violates the constitutional right of a lot of people. So, the editorial says that it is a violation of constitutional right. Constitutional right means it is the right of the people. What is that constitutional right? It is the right of the people to earn their livelihood without addressing the threat of drunken driving, right. So, this para is very clear. Then bars and restaurants that have obtained a proper license, please understand the meaning, have obtained. They might have obtained the license 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Please understand the consequence of the understanding English language. They might have obtained the license some time back, but still he is using bars and restaurants that have obtained. So, he is stating in present perfect because of the reason some past action. When it is linked with the present, you have to use this present perfect. Bars and restaurants that have obtained a proper license to do their trade, which includes serving liquor to the patrons, now lose the right to operate just because of their prime location. You see the irony? These bars and restaurants, they have taken the license, they have obtained the license, and for which they paid a premium. Premium means something more than the normal value. When somebody wants to establish a bar and restaurant nearer to the highway, he has to pay more. So, here which they paid premium means they paid huge quantity. The meaning of this is they paid huge quantity. Bars and restaurants that have obtained a proper license to ply their trade, which includes serving liquor to patrons. Patron has got two meanings. The first one is a person who gives financial or other support to a person or organization. Patrons, some old age home is there. Some old age home is there. If some industrialist is generously donating to the old age home, then you can say the industrialist as patron. So, patron means a person, or you can say generous person who is giving donations for particular cause. If you look at the country like United States of America, most of the educational institutions run with the help of patrons. In USA, most of the educational institutions run with the help of patrons, right. Then patron, another meaning is there. Patron means a customer of a shop or restaurant who visits regularly. Patron has got two meanings. First meaning we have just now discussed. In America, the educational institutions run with the help of generous donors, or you can say run with the help of patrons. And the other meaning is regular customer to a restaurant or a bar. He can be called as patrons, right. So, here they have obtained license to serve liquor to the regular customers. Now, they lose the right to operate just because of their prime location. The reason is it is located in the prime location. That is the reason why they are losing licenses now. And for getting the shop adjacent to national highway, they paid a huge amount, which is known as a premium. When something is more than the normal amount, you call it premium. At the same time, he is further elaborating, irresponsible drinkers are as free to drive and destroy lives, theirs and others, as they were before. Now, the restrictions are imposed on these shops adjacent to national highways, and as per the Supreme Court order, there is no rule to prevent that drunken driving. The person may drink at home and subsequently he may come on to the national highway, he may lose his life. At the same time, he may be responsible for losing others' lives. So, under these circumstances, here the shops adjacent to the national highways were taken to task, and at the same time, the persons whoever are coming onto the roads with drink, or you can say the drunken drivers, are just left as it is. At the same time, irresponsible drinkers are as free to drive. You have seen so many things, especially midnight. Irresponsible drinkers, they came onto the roads with very costly vehicles at high speeds, and sometimes they go over the persons sleeping on the pavements also. So, here no restriction was kept on the irresponsible drinkers, and the punishment given to the shops on one side punishment is given to the shops, and on the other sides irresponsible drinkers are left free. Collectively, social welfare stands reduced. If you look at it in the overall perspective, that means collectively the social welfare stands reduced. Banning the sale of liquor near a national or state highway is neither necessary nor sufficient. It is not necessary, it is not sufficient also for ending the menace of drunken driving. To end the problem of drunken driving, menace, the meaning of menace is a person or thing that is likely to cause harm, threat or danger. Menace means a person or thing that is likely to cause harm or threat or danger. The snakes are a menace to farm animals. So, when there is harm or threat, then we call menace. So, here banning the sale of liquor near a national or state highway is neither necessary nor sufficient. It is not necessary and it is not sufficient also for ending the problem of drunken driving, ending the threat because of drunken driving. That is the exact meaning of menace of drunken driving. It is easy to demonstrate the insufficiency bit. Next one is, if someone is determined to get a drink, if some driver before going on duty, he can order for a drink and he can drink as well before starting his journey. Setting off, what is the meaning of setting off? Set off has got two meanings. Set off means to start a trip or journey. Set off means to start a trip or journey. This is one meaning. The couple set off their journey to Australia. The other meaning for set off is, I will tell you with one example. I have to pay you 10,000, but you have to pay me 2,000 rupees. I have to pay you 10,000, you have to pay me 2,000 rupees. Now, I will pay you rupees 8,000 by setting off rupees 2,000. So, setting off meaning is the right to pay a person or organization less money than you owe them because they also owe you money. That is the setting off. I paid the money after setting off the amount due to us. So, set off meaning is here two meanings. One is to start on a long trip, you can say set off, and the other meaning is basically here reducing the amount which the other person is owing to you. So, please understand these two meanings. Before setting off on a long drive, if someone is taking a drink in advance, then the distance of half a kilometer is no deterrence. If someone is determined to get a drink before setting off on a long drive, before starting the journey, if someone is determined to drink, then he can bring it the same from 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers or more than half a kilometer. Half a kilometer cannot act as a deterrent. The point here is distance of half a kilometer cannot act as a deterrent. What is the meaning of deterrent? Deterrent is, or you can say deterrence, the action or the fact of deterring people from doing something. And our nuclear weapons, India always says that our nuclear weapons are to act as a deterrent. Please understand this carefully. India says that our nuclear weapons are basically to act as a deterrent, right. So, that means no one will attack us. They very well know that if they attack us, we have sufficient weapons. So, India's nuclear policy is with the doctrine of no first use, and our nuclear program is only to act as a deterrent. Our nuclear program is only to act as a deterrent. Deterrent means it in fact deters other people from doing something. So, here half a kilometer cannot act as a deterrent, right. Please understand set off, deterrent. smartphone apps. In future, smartphone apps would soon sprout up that show the nearest liquor vent wherever you are. In future, smartphone apps would soon sprout up. In future, what will happen? These smartphone apps will sprout up and that will show the nearest liquor vent. Drunks who stagger out of a party at a home are untouched by the ban, as are those who treat a bottle as a driving accessory. So, here this smartphone apps will sprout up, indicating the location of liquor shops. In future, indicating the location of liquor shops, smartphone apps will sprout up. What is the meaning of sprout up? To produce. Actually, this sprout is applicable for this. Here, developing the parts or a plant starts to grow from a seed is sprouting up. So, in the same context he used, smartphone apps would soon sprout up that show the nearest liquor vent wherever you are. Then, drunks who stagger out of a party. What is the meaning of stagger? Please look into this slide. Stagger means walk or move unsteadily as if about to fall. This is basically used indicating that the person's coming out after a drink. So, stagger means walk or move unsteadily. He will not be steady and he will walk like about to fall. So, the person left the hotel Park Sheraton with a drunken stagger, right. So, stagger, please understand here, drunks who stagger out of a party at a home are untouched by the ban. Then at the same time, as are those who treat a bottle as a driving accessory. Some people are there who treat that the bottle is a necessary thing and they are also left untouched. Only on highways the bars and restaurants and liquor shops are closed, and all these aspects are not taken into consideration by the Supreme Court. Tomorrow, smartphone apps may sprout up, indicating the location of liquor shop nearer to state and national highways, and at the same time the drunks who stagger out, that means who are coming out after having a huge drink of a party at a home, are untouched by the ban, as are those who treat a bottle as a driving accessory. Accessory means something is to be carried along with you. Then what is necessary is to prevent people who have alcohol in their blood in excess of a medically determined threshold from driving a vehicle. More than all these things, what is required? What is required is the regulation which must be implemented strictly, that which prevents people who have alcohol in their blood in excess of a medically determined threshold. Threshold, please understand, threshold means the level at which something begins to happen. Threshold means the level at which something begins to happen. Here I have given in India the threshold for imposition of income tax is rupees 2,50,000. So, please understand clearly the meaning of threshold, right. So, there must be strong regulation that if the alcohol level in the blood is beyond certain limit, they should not be allowed to drive. Stiff penalties, including the scrapping of their driving license if caught driving under the influence, are one option. So, please scrap the driving license if someone is caught driving under the influence of alcohol. Please implement strict measures, that is the solution, but not banning the arak shops or alcohol shops adjacent to national highways. So, here scrap, we discussed previously, scrap means to not continue with a system, right, and it might help to install breath analyzers. Breathalyzers, these are used, in fact to found how much percentage or to find whether the person is under the influence of alcohol or not, and these are to be installed at public places licensed to serve liquor. So, please provide these instruments. At the same time, please increase the law enforcement mechanism, and at the same time he also suggested, the editorial strongly suggests, impose stiff penalties, and if someone was caught driving with alcohol beyond certain threshold, please cancel the driving license of the person also. Then to help people check their alcohol levels before they decide to drive. So, at the places whichever are allowed to sell alcohol, please provide these instruments so that they themselves will know that whether they are fit for driving or not. So, the institutional mechanism is to be increased, but not banning the shops. Encouraging a business of temporary drivers. Temporary drivers business must be encouraged, who earn good money ferrying drunken would-be drivers in their own vehicles to their destinations is another idea. So, he is throwing several ideas, and the crux of the editorial is, this is breathalyzer, this is basically to identify whether the person is under the influence of alcohol or not, and some threshold is to be fixed, and beyond that he should not be allowed to drive, right. The crux of the editorial is, there are not many difficult words here, but understand the editorial. The crux of the editorial is banning the alcohol shops adjacent to national highways and state highways is not the solution. Strictly implement the machinery, the law enforcement machinery must be strengthened, which will have to look at various implementation measures strictly. And friends, tomorrow our discussion is on RBI's monetary policy. This is business line editorial of 7th April. So, tomorrow lot many difficult words are involved here. So, we are going to deliberate on this RBI's recent monetary policy. Not only English, you will get lot many words pertaining to monetary policy also through this editorial. And this week Friday is the holiday. So, Thursday we are going to have this banking awareness current affairs, right friends. I hope that you understood today's comprehension, and have a nice day. Please do join tomorrow, right. Thank you. Thanks a lot.